When it's down there, you can't say nothing.
I spoke to you over there, Aaron. Are you alright?
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 British TV shows in desperate need of change. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're going to be looking at shows both old and new that feel like they need a refresh to stay relevant. Know a show that needs a switch up badly? Drop us a comment below and let us know. Number 10, Blankety Blank.
Same as a normal blankety blank, but with a couple of trees from a corner shop thrown in.
The classic 80s game show made a return to screens for a one-off Christmas special in 2020, and was followed by a full series comeback the year later. But the format feels tired and stale, and arguably should have been left back in the 80s.
I did Spal! Another one today, that's 4 today.
Many viewers and reviewers have commented on host Bradley Walsh, who feels like an increasingly overexposed presence on the small screen, as well as the lack of star power on the panel. It's a completely harmless show in its current format, and unlike some other entries, there isn't that much that's obviously wrong with it. It's just that it feels a little dated in the 2020s.
Just what you need, isn't it?
Number 9, Richard Osman's House of Games. Osman is probably best known for his role as a co-host on quiz show Pointless, which perhaps is part of the problem with House of Games. It's just not as good.
Yeah.
Is that right? It is not. Anyone want to buzz in?
Pointless is a classic, so it's always going to be hard to live up to that standard. But House of Games takes the weaker elements of Pointless and doubles down on them, namely the speed of the show. House of Games is, without a doubt, the slowest quiz show on TV right now. No matter how interesting the games might be, the pacing is just so slow that it makes them a real slog to get through.
Very well done if you held out there.
There's plenty to like about the show, if only it was quicker. Number 8, The Voice UK. Can you name a Voice UK winner? Didn't think so.
Wow.
Yes, come on.
In fact, arguably the biggest winner of the talent show so far has been Kaiser Chiefs singer Ricky Wilson, who used his platform as coach to revitalize his band's career and nail a #1 album thanks to his primetime TV appearances. But Wilson aside, it's hard to pinpoint any real success stories that have come from the show. And given the premise is to find tomorrow's singing superstars, well, that's quite the issue, isn't it? It's still entertaining enough on its day, but with the demise of rival The X Factor, The Voice will be looking over its shoulder unless it shakes things up soon. Number 7, Spitting Image.
See you, donkey.
Alec, I thought we changed the locks.
I bet through them.
In this era of political instability, bringing back this beloved puppet-themed satire seemed like a sure bet for success. But upon its return, the show was met with much derision, and it's easy to see why. For whatever reason, it just feels clunky.
Why don't we raise the stakes, Mr. Scaryfinger?
As you wish, Mr. Bond.
The jokes don't quite land as well as they used to in the original series, and some of the impressions are way off base. Many moments come across as being forced and desperate too. Perhaps the reality is already crazy enough that the satire feels unnecessary, or perhaps the reboot just isn't all that good. Either way, it's a show that needs some sprucing up fast.
Sorry, already used it to dry my crotch.
Number 6, Top Gear. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The car show was at its peak when the classic trio of Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May were at the helm. But since their departure from the BBC, Top Gear has been somewhat of a revolving door of presenters that come and go.
What do you mean it went up in flames? What happened?
The present lineup of Paddy McGuinness, Freddie Flintoff, and Chris Harris is by far the most stable of the formations tried out by the BBC. But even so, many think they don't quite live up to the lofty heights of the Clarkson, Hammond, and May era. Challenges can feel over-sanitized and produced, and the spontaneity of the classic trio is lacking in comparison. Their chemistry is still proving very hard to recreate.
Paddy, stop it!
Number 5, Mock the Week. When it debuted in 2005, Mock the Week was a smash hit. Anarchic and witty in equal measures, the panel show made waves with comedians such as Hugh Dennis, Russell Howard, and Frankie Boyle. Since then, the format of the show has remained virtually unchanged.
This is the Virgin of the Year award.
And that's the problem. What was once cutting edge now feels tired and overdone to many. The style of humor feels dated over a decade later, and with the show's more edgy panelists like Boyle and Howard having left, there's a sense that there isn't much bite left. Panel shows are still hugely popular, but a lot of viewers believe Mock the Week could do with a refresh if it wants to reclaim its former glory.
And did they say we were waiting for hundreds of tiny pricks and only one turned up?
Number 4, Midsummer Murders.
Any evidence of a struggle or of his attacker?
Well, that's what's strange. Apart from the bullet, there's no sign of an intruder or any confrontation.
An ITV staple, this detective drama rose to prominence for its unique combination of gory murders and quaint rural villages. But by the end of John Nettles' tenure as lead character, DCI Tom Barnaby, the show had begun to feel like a parody, with increasingly outlandish plots and cartoonish antics. Things got worse when Nettles left and was replaced with Neil Dudgeon as John Barnaby, a change that only served to double down on the parody feeling.
How about A Time of Death?
Without the warmth of Tom and his on-screen family, the show felt much colder, a move at odds with the ever more out-there murders. There are still some moments of magic, but overall, Midsummer is not the show it used to be. Number 3, Later, with Jules Holland. Jules' live music show is a British institution. We've all spent an underwhelming New Year's Eve in front of the telly watching the Later hootenanny. The problem is, the show hasn't moved with the times. Occasionally, Jules will land a genuine superstar like Harry Styles or Ed Sheeran, but often the artists booked haven't been especially relevant for some time, and appear so frequently you begin to wonder if they live in the studio permanently. The BBC recognised changes need to be made, but the decision they did make, introducing co-hosts such as Sir Tom Jones, only served as a distraction. The lack of variety in the performers needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. Number 2, Love Island. The ITV reality show is still somewhat of a cultural phenomenon among younger viewers, but some are suggesting that it's beginning to run out of steam. 2021's Season 7 launched with its lowest viewer ratings in 4 years, suggesting that interest is dwindling somewhat.
Don't ask me a question if you're not ready for my answer.
It is, though.
Perhaps this was fueled in part by the controversy surrounding the tragic deaths of former host Carolyn Flack, as well as contestants Sophie Graddon and Mike Thelasitis. Or perhaps it's because there's a feeling among viewers that contestants are more interested in becoming celebrity influencers after the show, rather than finding true love on it. Either way, Love Island is no longer the juggernaut it once was, and risks becoming stagnant.
He doesn't love me. No, he loves you.
Number 1, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I'm a Celeb has seemed infallible ever since its inception in 2002. Nothing could stop the show being a ratings hit year after year, until, regrettably, COVID hit. The reality show, usually held in an Australian jungle, was forced to be moved to the ruins of Gwyth Castle in Wales in 2020.
Well
Nice
done!
position.
The location changed the vibe of the show in the eyes of many viewers, with the relative comfort of the castle not living up to the jungle wilderness of old. Things got worse in 2021, when the show was plagued with adverse weather conditions and star Richard Madeley leaving the show with an illness. Popular though it still may be, I'm a Celeb desperately needs to move back to Australia.
You're the king of the castle!
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.